We're Nat and James, and this is our sailboat Zephyr. She's taken us all over the world and been our home for 3.5 years. With over 20,000 nautical miles under her keel and our sights firmly set on sailing around the world, we are on a mission to make some vital upgrades and much needed repairs. So join us every week for a new video. If you would like to support our journey, a great way is by clicking the subscribe button. Enjoy the video, guys.
Forever waiting, then came you. I thought I was what I've been told. I thought I was.
We're finally going, we're splashing. We're going in the water today. We haven't finished all the jobs, but we've done enough to get us in the water. And then there's still quite a lot to do, but we can work on that while we live on the boat and don't put any more people out of their homes. And you know, it would just be a lot easier to stay on the boat and do the boat work. So that's what's gonna happen. We're splashing at 4:30ish, which is when we have high tide, so we'll be in the slings a little bit earlier so that James can sand the bottom of the keel and then primer it and then anti-foul it. And then we'll be going in at high tide and getting a slip right here in the marina. The slip is very shallow, so we will probably be touching at low tide twice a day, but we'll see how that it all turns out.
So we have obviously these big straps to lift the boat. We spent all our hard work making that boat look super shiny, and sometimes these straps can have a little bit of debris and they can mark up the boat a little bit. By Tucker putting this protective plastic on, it's just going to ensure that all of our hard work doesn't get damaged. We're going back in the water, and to do that we have to prep a couple of things. So the first thing we need to do is get these rear stays off. So some of you might be wondering, if we take the rear stays off, is the mast going to fall over? The answer is no. So we have swept back spreaders already, so there is already some tension aft. Plus what we've done is we have our topping lift on our boom secure, and we've cranked down on the main sheet quite tight. And this will create a little bit more tension aft. So this is the procedure we used when we hauled out before. So now I just got to loosen the back stays, and I'll just walk those forward and secure them so they don't move around.
We're good to go. We're just waiting now for tide, right? It's dead low at the moment, I can see it. So there's, right now is not a good time to go in.
So while we wait for tide, they're gonna pick us up in the slings and just sort of let us sit in the slings for a few hours so that we can do the bottom of the keel. We got to quickly sand it, primer it, a couple layers of primer, a couple layers of anti-foul, and it's probably going to be the best the bottom of the keel's been since we bought the boat.
Yeah. So while we're waiting for the primer on the bottom of the keel to kind of get that tacky, what do they call it, the thumbprint test? Yeah. So you want it to be like not dry, not wet, just like tacky, so that the anti-foul can attach to it. While we're waiting for that, James is just pouring some anti-foul, and he's actually going to redo some of these spots where the stands were that have kind of taken a little bit of a beating here, as you can see there. Yeah. It's already got rid of some of our anti-foul. So we're just going to put a bit more on, roll that on. Then do the bottom. We'll probably do quite a few on the bottom.
You mean these fancy bad boys? Well, these are Rivers Dockers. Okay. Fancy, yes.
Australians will know that.
Yeah, so if you've ever lived in Australia and seen a Rivers commercial in the mid-2010s, it's like heavy rock and roll and super violent, and you always want to turn the volume down.
Yeah.
But Nat and I got a job right out of university working as dive masters on a boat, so we quickly had to go buy some shoes, so I bought these. So it's 12 years ago I bought these.
Deck shoes.
Deck
and these
shoes.
are the only
I wore
deck
them for
shoes.
3 months.
Yeah, what did you pay? Next to nothing.
Oh, like 30 bucks, 25
No,
bucks.
not
Maybe even less,
yeah.
And then they just sat in the closet forever.
Ever.
We brought them on the boat because we're like, oh, deck shoes on a sailboat, we need some. So I took mine, never worn them. And then Nat went, why don't you use them to sand the bottom of the boat and anti-foul? And you know what? They work perfect. Time to retire these bad boys. Let's go.
Bye-bye. All right, what are we left to do? One more coat on the bottom of the keel. We've redone all the sand points where the stands were, so we've just kind of done those. That's all done, and now waiting to put the last one on the bottom, and then we're done. And then we're done, we're done, we're done.
I saw a glimpse of coloring. It knocked me off my feet. I thought I saw a spark in your eye.
Well, guys, we are inside the boat because literally we put the boat in the water and a storm has rolled in. So I quickly got the backstays on. Sorry we couldn't film it. But yeah, it's blowing 25, 26 out there. What's that?
25 is when I had a look.
25, there you go, blowing 25. It's raining, it's miserable out there, so we had to move fast. But big thanks to Matt and Jessica from MJ Sailing, and of course Tucker and Alex at Kentmorr Marina. Those guys are legends. They helped us out so much. I've never felt safer with our home suspended above concrete before. Anyways, yeah, so we're just gonna wait for this to pass, and then that's it, man. We're so tired. It's been an exciting day. Now becomes the more projects that we have to work on while we're in the water. So, all right, guys, good night.
Conquered all my needs, and I put all the way aside.
Over the next couple of weeks, James begins on his biggest upgrade for Zephyr. He wants to build a fold-down transom, similar to this one. First thing for the job is to build a frame.
Done? Done like big. All right, you grab that.
So we've just built our frame for the transom, and now we will lay out nidoplast across it, and then we're going to put fiberglass on top of that. 1809 1708 fiberglass over the top of it, and that's going to help us form the shape of the transom.
All right, guys, well, we are here and we are working on our fold down transom for our Beneteau, and I got the guys from Kentmorr. They're going to help us out. So we are going to do the underside or the inside of the transom first because we're worried about losing that shape, and then afterwards, once that sets, then we'll do the outside. So we're going to get some glass, lay it out, wet it, throw down the nidoplast, plastic, plank, and then throw it on the mold and let it sit overnight. For this project, we're going to use Total Boat's polyester resin. Because of the sweltering conditions, the glass is going to set very fast, so we enlist the help of Tucker and Alex from the marina along with Matt. The idea here is to wet out the glass on the backside first, flip it over, and then place it on top of the nidoplast. Once we get the glass laid down, we have to move very quickly. The idea here is to roll out all the air bubbles as best as possible. Next, we cover the glass in plastic and throw down a piece of plywood. We then lift it up and flip it over and move it into the workshop. We then place it on the form, line up our markings, and place some weights so that the nidoplast and the glass slowly take shape. Alright guys, well it's been 2 days now since we laid the glass on the underside of our fold down transom, and today we are going to lay a piece on the top side. So this will be significantly easier than the other one. There's no flipping or anything, but before we do that, there's a couple things we need to do. First is we are actually going to hot glue the corners of the wooden sheet that is down on top of the form, and then we will hot glue the underside of the side we glassed down onto the wooden sheet, and then we'll be ready to lay our glass. But I gotta go get me some supplies. Stop laughing. So the supplies for Zephyr from Total Boat are in the men's bathroom. Because it's air conditioned in here all the time. Yep, that's it. Just had to get some catalyst.
That's it, we're ready to go.
That's it. I just need to find some hot glue.
Woo. There's Jason from Maryland. Is he going out today? We don't know. Are you out today?
Yeah.
Woo!
Set my bait spots first.
Nice. So you got an afternoon one then?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Nice.
taking a bunch of business owners out. Going
Perfect.
fishing. So
Perfect. How many people?
I think it's 12, but it's a group of 24 people.
Nice.
There's 2 boats going. So should be a good afternoon.
How many fish are you going to catch?
Oh.
What do you catch out here though? What type?
Straight bass, yeah. I'm allowed to keep 2 a person right now. So we can have 12 people, we're allowed 24 fish.
Perfect.
So
Nice.
we're gonna have a good afternoon. It's great.
Yeah.
Sunny out, rain stopped.
I know, and it's nice and cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a plus.
Perfect. Check him out. Here he is. This is the boat.
Yep, I'm take a ride on the Marylander.
So first things first, we're going to remove all of the weights off of the top of the nidoplast. Next, I place some hot glue at various sections around the form to hold the plywood down and weight it. This glue only takes a matter of seconds before it's good to go. Once we've laid the sheet back down and lined up our markings, we then hot glue the fiberglass to the plywood. The reason we're doing this is so that the nidoplast holds the shape of the form while we lay down our new layers of glass. Again, we place some weights on top of the nidoplast and wait for the glue to cure. Once the glue is set, we remove the weights and prepare the nidoplast for glassing. For this stage of glassing, it's going to be similar to before, but with some slight changes. We first roll out our 1708 fiberglass, cut the size we need, and then we roll half of it back. Next, using our Total Boat polyester resin, we wet the back side of that glass, and also wet the nidoplast. Flip it over and repeat the process for the other side. Next, again, it's a frantic pace to roll out all of the air bubbles in the glass. Guys, as you can see, the second layer of glass is down, the first layer on the opposite side. That was the first one I did on my own. Obviously the previous one, we had all the boys helping out because it was such a big job. This one, me and Nat and Mike all did it together. The biggest issue I had was obviously the size of the piece is so big. So we were a little light on how much resin we mixed up, but we got there. She's looking good. We'll let it set now. We'll leave this for like a day and a half. I want it to go really, really hard, and hopefully keeps it shed.
There's Mike.
Oh,
There's Pete.
It could all be green.
Quarter.
Brand and what density it is. So the stuff that we're